A lot. I feel like a lot of similarities. So way I'm gonna do mine is here's the East all the way to the final who I think is coming out of the East. All right. So I got coming out of the first round. Duke will play, and I got Ohio State beating TCU. St. John's against Kansas. As bad as it hurt me, I put Louisville against Michigan State, UCLA against UConn. Heading on, Sweet 16 in the East. I got Duke versus St. John's, Michigan State and UConn. I actually have Duke playing UConn with Duke going to the Final Four. Um, Obviously, I think UConn drew a pretty sweet draw to the Elite Eight. I also think that the East region, I think the committee was like, we're just going to throw a bunch of freaking teams in there because, first of all, and I listened to Rick Pitino say this in an interview that he thought he was going to get a 5 seed. I thought they should have been a 4 seed at least, and not in the East bracket with Duke, with Michigan State, with Kansas, with UConn. I mean, it was just like, I don't know what the committee was doing when they did this, but maybe they were looking at it. Yeah, let's make some money because we got all these Hall of Fame coaches are going to have to play against each other, and up and coming coaches, I should say, too. We go down the South. I got Florida versus Clemson. Iowa, that game is kind of tricky because it wouldn't shock me if Iowa wins. But I went with Clemson. I got Vandy and Nebraska. I did pick UNC. That one was a toss-up because I understand their best player is out for the year. I think they got enough talent that they'll beat VCU. I got Illinois. Illinois puts up a lot of offense. They can't play defense, but they do put up some offense. One upset I got, if you call this an upset, is Texas A&M over St. Mary's. I mean, I think A&M's battle tested. St. Mary's is what? Gonzaga? I mean, really, I just think that, I don't know, I think the A&M can snag it, albeit last year we got a lot of SEC teams in and they all fell one by one, so that could happen again. But I'm going with A&M off the upset. Then I got Houston going in the second round. From there, I got Florida with a rematch with Vanderbilt and Illinois against Houston. I think Florida gets them this time in the rubber match, right? I just think that heading in, I had said this on another episode that Michael, you and I talked about. There's a difference between being confident and cocky. I felt like Florida got cocky, and we played them close, obviously. But Vanderbilt, they showed up to win that game. And I think Florida thought they were just going to kind of coast and maybe look past thinking big matchup with Arkansas. So, but this time I think Florida's more prepared. So I got Florida and Houston, but I got Houston going to the Final Four. I standing by my statement. I said that Florida wouldn't win the SEC tournament, and they didn't. And I saying that they will not repeat NCAA. Going into the West, I got Arizona, and I picked Utah State over Villanova. Nova is coming back, but they're not back. If that makes sense. I don't think they're getting there. I've got Wisconsin, even though a small part of me wanted to pick High Point. I think I did. I wanted to pick High Point, but I think Wisconsin will get past. I got them playing Arkansas, BYU versus Gonzaga. So yes, I'm saying that BYU will beat either Texas or NC State. Missouri over Miami of Florida. I mean, I wanted to pick Miami, but Missouri's got two big men and they can score. And as long as they don't get into foul trouble, they got really good guard play. So I think Missouri will go ahead and play Purdue. Going from there, I got Arizona against Arkansas, BYU against Purdue. I flipped back and forth on the Arizona-Arkansas game, but I went with Arizona. I mean, I hope that matchup happens. I think it'll be a great matchup, but I think Arizona gets the edge. If Acuff blows up for 30, then Arkansas gets it. but you also, I think you got to depend on Arkansas's big men to try to help out there too. So I got Arizona and Purdue in the Elite Eight, and I got Arizona going to the Final Four.